Hey, Brook Scholars, welcome back to Remote Learning with me, Mr. Scott. Happy Tuesday. And yes, as you may have guessed, the Rainbow Week continues, and today is the next color of the rainbow, which is orange. So happy orange. Orange, you glad it's Orange Day? Oh, it's an old joke. Yes, oranges. Oranges are delicious. So eat some oranges. I have three oranges. Would you like to see me juggle three oranges? Actually, you would know this about me. I'm a really good juggler. Okay. So here we go. Now, I don't recommend you doing this at home. Don't juggle fruit at home. Someone's going to complain. All right, here we go. Three of them. Here we. Oh, that. Hmm. All right. You know what? I'll work with Miss Ribeiro, and I will get better at juggling. I'll set a goal for myself. Well, you know what else is orange, my friends? One of these. Yeah, you recognize that? I know it's not the right size, it's not regulation size, but it's a basketball. And I'm really excited for today's reading. I really, really am. And I can tell you straight away that it is fiction. So we'll put that up there. Let's do it in orange. Is it in orange? Yes, of course it is. Fiction. Actually, can we do bubble letters? Oh, yeah. Oh, you know what? That's not bad. I'm gonna have to give myself a little bit of credit for that. Look at that. Yeah, not bad. Okay, anyway, so this story today, it's fiction. So yes, we're going to talk about the setting, and yes, we're going to talk about the character and what the character wants and what the problem is and the solution at the end. But really, why I'm so excited about today's reading is the lesson, the message, the thing the character learns, and of course, the thing that we, the reader, should be learning as well. Readers should make sure that they are understanding the point of the story that they are reading. For example, the little engine that could. Don't give up no matter what. A lesson. It's the message. What about this one? Waiting is not easy. Waiting is not easy. But if you have patience, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful things can happen if you are able to wait as long as you need to. Spoon, one of my favorites. What about this one? It's okay to be different. Now, if you are someone that is different, or looks different, or feels differently about things, that's okay. What about this one? Remember that one? Dinosaurs Before Dark, the very first Magic Tree House. Jack and Annie, what did they learn? They learned that they need to work together. They need to use books and anything that's available to get them out of a really, really dangerous place like Dinosaur Kingdom. Woo! Ivy and Bean, the first Ivy and Bean book, before they became friends. The problem was that they really didn't like the look of each other. They were judging each other, and it wasn't pretty. But eventually they discovered that actually they had a lot in common and they could be great friends. This one, a Star Wars doodling book. You, no, this isn't right. See, this isn't a fiction story, so it's not going to have a lesson. But this story does, and I think it's a really great reminder to each and every one of us. So, sure, the main character is going to learn a lesson. They're going to learn and discover something new about themselves. But it's our job as the reader to also learn that same lesson. It's part of the reason that stories are told, part of the stories that we read, part of the, why we read them. I'm stepping on an orange. Okay, are you ready? Basketball. Shooting Hoops is the title of this article. I don't know very much about basketball. I mean, I've seen some games, I've seen some stuff on TV, I've played it a little bit. I'm not that good, to be perfectly honest. I know that to be really good at that sport, it takes dedication, it takes hard work. You have to have a lot of teamwork. You're on a team, it's not an individual sport like tennis or something. So let's see who the main character is, where this story takes place, what the character wants, what the problem is. Are you ready? Let's do this. Shooting hoops. Miss Cooper worked with Meg, her daughter, to help her make free throw shots. A free throw is when a player stands back at a line to make a basket with no other players trying to get the ball, explained Mrs. Cooper. Standing at the free throw line, Miss Cooper dribbled the basketball. Okay, Meg, she said to her 8-year-old daughter, put your hand right on top, left hand on the bottom, aim toward the basket, and shoot. Meg watched as her mom's shot went into the net with a swish. Isn't that a great sound? Swish. Do that with me. Ready? One, two, three, swish. Yeah, when the basketball like goes through and I think it's just such a reward for making a good shot that actually goes in, that swishing sound. It's like, hey, you've done it right. Good job. You scored a point. Nice work. Or two, or three. Anywho, Meg tried it the same way. The ball didn't reach the net. It's hard to throw that far, she said. Here's another way, Mom said. We used to call it granny style. It might help you get started until you get stronger. Then she showed Meg how to do it. Holding the ball with both hands, Meg held it down in front of her legs. Then she pushed the ball upward, throwing it underhanded. Using both hands gave her enough power to push the ball to the hoop. It went in. Meg smiled happily, feeling encouraged. I'll practice that way for now, she said. 3 months later. Whoa, 3 months later? That's a big jump, isn't it? Authors are kind of sneaky that way. Sometimes they kind of fast forward the story and say 1 week later. 3 months later is a really long time. Think about that. That's like almost an entire season of the year. 3 months, January, February, and March. 3 months. So, what do you think's been happening during those 3 months? What do you think Meg has been doing? Hmm? Hmm? Interesting. Well, let's see if you're right. 3 months later, Meg entered a citywide free throw contest called Shootin' Hoops. Whoever made the most free throws in 2 minutes would win the contest. Meg was entered in the 9-year-old and under group. Now, do you remember how old Meg was? She wasn't 9. It told us in the beginning. How old is she? 8. You're exactly right. During warm-ups, Meg noticed that all the other kids were shooting with one hand. She was the only one shooting granny style. She wondered if she should shoot. Oh, that's a great. She wondered if she should shoot with one hand. She knew she couldn't, so she decided to do it her own way. Keep that sentence in mind, friends. Meg's turn came. There were some surprised laughs when she started shooting with two hands. She didn't mind. She just kept shooting the ball into the hoop. Most of her throws made it in. At the end of the 2 minutes, Meg had made 12 free throws. A boy named Andy had made 14. A girl named Lawanda had made 11. Meg came in second place in her age group. Meg hung her Shootin' Hoops medal up in her room. It was gold with a shiny red ribbon hanging from it. Nowhere on that medal did it say Granny Style. She had practiced hard and succeeded in her own way without fretting or feeling bad about what other people thought. I love this story. All right, let's go through it. Let's do a quick retell first, and then we'll get to this all important message and why Mr. Scott is like freaking out about how awesome it is. Okay, so in the beginning, let's talk about the setting. Started off, I get the feeling that they were standing, I don't exactly know where. I was kind of picturing them outside, maybe at a basketball hoop, or maybe there's a basketball hoop like by their house. And it didn't really tell us exactly, but we do know who was involved. It was Meg, the 8-year-old girl who was throw free, trying to throw free throws. And she was being given some assistance. She was being given some advice by her mother, Miss Cooper. And Miss Cooper was saying, try it this way. You put your hands, oh, well, I do not have the technique that I need to try and demonstrate this. You need to hand, and then you throw the ball. But she couldn't do it, so she had to do it granny style, which is like she had to put it between her legs and kind of throw it up with two hands. And that way, she was able to do it. And so she was then able to practice with the granny style of throwing it with two hands underhand, and it would go in the basket and she would score points and she would feel really good about herself. Very important to have those character feelings in a good retail, friends. Okay, so then it says 3 months later. Ooh, that sneaky author. So what do you think was happening? Meg was practicing with the granny style and she was getting good. She was getting good enough to enter a city-wide competition called Shootin' Hoops. And the rules were you stand at the free throw line and you've got 2 minutes to make as many baskets as possible. So that's what Meg wanted to do. She wanted to win this competition. That was the character motivation. Here comes the problem, though. The problem started off that she didn't really know how to get the ball from the free throw line into the basket, but then she worked it out um, by throwing underhand, granny style. But then she wanted to do really well at this competition. But guess what? She was the only person that was shooting it this way. No one else was doing it this way. Everyone else was just doing it one handed. So she had a big decision to make. As soon as she saw everyone else was using the one handed approach, she had to think to herself, maybe I should do that. I haven't practiced that. I know I'm not very good at that. It doesn't come easy for me, but she didn't want to feel embarrassed. And in fact, there were some laughter. There were some kids that were watching her and they started laughing and giggling because no one else was using the granny style. Everyone else was throwing one handed. But that didn't stop Meg from doing what she knew she could do in order to be super successful. So she went up there and she tried her best and she got focused and she ignored everyone else and she just did it the way that she'd been practicing and she made 12 baskets. It wasn't quite enough to get her gold medal. She didn't come in first place. She came in second place because a boy named Andy got 14. But still, she was really, really proud of herself at the end. Now, that's just a nice story, and you can read that story. And if you're into basketball and stuff like that, this is a cool read. But remember, there's something else that's really, really important in stories such as this, and that is the message. That is the lesson. What did Meg learn? And because Meg, the character, learned that lesson, we, the reader, can learn that same lesson to make ourselves even better than we are today. Well, ask for advice. Go to Miss Cooper or ask someone, one of your friends, one of your teachers, someone in your family for help, and they'll give you some advice. And then it's all about hard work. Then it's all about practicing, isn't it? It's all about getting out there and doing it and making it happen each and every time. 3 months. Can you imagine how disappointed Meg must have been some days where she goes out there and she doesn't make as many baskets, but then very slowly over time she starts to get better and better and better and better? You have to really work at something for a long time if you want to see some great results. So finally, then she was about to feel really, really disappointed and embarrassed because she was the only person that was doing the granny style, but she didn't give up. She kept at it and she was very successful. But those are the lessons that Meg learned, and those are the same lessons that we can learn. It doesn't have to be about basketball. Maybe you're not into basketball. Maybe you don't enjoy playing basketball. Maybe it doesn't even have to be a sport. Maybe it's vacuum power. Maybe it's learning to ride your bike. Maybe it's learning to be an incredible chef in the kitchen. Let this story inspire you to do something wonderful, my friends, while you're wearing your orange clothing today, of course. Well, that's about it from me, my friends. Thank you so much for tuning in again. I'm going to really look forward to seeing the answers to the questions at the bottom of the page here. So make sure that you set up your page, name, date, shooting hoops as the title, put your multiple choice on the left, 2 short answers, and you're done. Snap a picture of that, upload it to Seesaw. I cannot wait to see the work. And I'm going to get practicing on my juggling if I want to be a better juggler. Maybe I'll reach out to Miss Ribeiro. She's an incredible juggler. She has juggling skills. She could tell me what to do. I could practice, then I could enter a competition, and I could win or get second place. All right, my friends. Well, for me, Mr. Scott, the ultimate champion, I want to wish you a very orangey day. And I will see you back here tomorrow. And we'll look forward to seeing you then. Okay, have a great day, guys. See you. Bye.